really want to do this video because I've had chronic anxiety for years, and the only reason why I am living my best life is because I have been taught how to deal with the anxiety in the first place, and really going within myself, finding that issue and growing above it, just finding solutions on how to manage it. So the different types of anxiety, I think it's important to know that because there's so many theories out there, and sure, mine is just analyzed from what I have felt, from what my friends have felt. It's not necessarily been something that has been put into a clinical trial, but it's definitely something that has helped me, and it's definitely something that has helped my relatives and friends around me as well. So the reason why you want to know the source and the placement within your body is because it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you your next step, and that is so essential. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the first type of anxiety, which I personally call the youngest type of anxiety, for the reason that it has a lot to do with judgment. And judgment is such a low type of anxiety, right? It is mainly you judging yourself, and it is mainly stuck within your head and within your throat. So you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself, on who you should be, who you should become, what you should do in life. I did this wrong. Usually you go to bed judging yourself. Oh, this went wrong, that went wrong, that went wrong, right? So that's the first type of anxiety, and that is mainly felt in throat and head. And this is a type of anxiety where you should really rewire your brain, and you should give yourself a little bit of slack, and you should tell yourself that you are doing your best. You know, you might actually be doing things wrong, and that is when that anxiety comes up, but you should also be able to forgive yourself and move on and learn from it and just become a better person. Second type of anxiety is usually in the chest. This is a type of anxiety that is really passed from trauma. It is also a type of anxiety that keeps coming back when you put yourself consistently in that same position. So you subconsciously are putting yourself within that situation, and you need to learn from that anxiety. It is telling you something. Do something differently. Take a different action. Don't react this way. Yeah, so this chest anxiety is really telling you to do something in a different manner, something that just feels better to you. So if it's stuck here, look at yourself. Don't blame other people. Don't go looking outside. It is something within that you need to solve. Third type of anxiety is in the stomach. So let's go a little bit lower. It is here. And this type of anxiety is usually because you are not living in the present. You are projecting something in the future, something that hasn't happened yet. You're looking too far ahead, something that you can't solve right now, something that is making you fearful in the future. Maybe in the past, but it's usually in the future. So this type of anxiety that finds himself right here is really just about, hey, where am I right now? What can I do right now? What's going to get me out of bed right now? What is giving me excitement and life right now? And not necessarily looking too far ahead, because that's something that we will deal with later, and it is not something that is going to improve our state if we continue worrying about what's going to happen next. So it's really about what can we do right now, and how can we change today, and how can we make today better. And then there's the fourth version that is really from duality. This is a gut feeling. It is usually lower than the stomach, and it is a feeling of being torn between, you know, I have to do something, but I want to do this, or this is what is required from me, my responsibility, and that is what I really feel like doing. This is where my energy is bringing me towards. That type of anxiety is usually, you know, just your next step, your next indicator of what you can do in life and how to make your life better. However, it's not an anxiety where I suggest you to rush into or just like obey to, like, oh, okay, it's telling me to do this next step, so let's move there. That would be irresponsible, and we do have to think about, you know, where we are right now, what is giving us stability right now. So what can I do to take that next step within the realms that I am right now? And that anxiety might linger a little bit, but you know, being present and knowing what your next step is usually takes you out of it. Now, those are the type of anxieties. Then we also have root limbs, which is just kind of like your hands, your legs, you're anxious, you want to move, but usually that is also solved by actually moving. So do sports, you know, go out there. So those are the 5 types. It's head, throat, which is pressure, self-judgment. It's chest, which is you need to look within yourself. What is it that you need to learn from? What are you constantly putting yourself into? It is stomach, which is future projections, so maybe past, but let's live in the present. What can I do today? And then sacral gut, which is that duality, and also something that, you know, you might be wanting to do right now and you can't. But that just holds awareness and, you know, what can you do today? And limbs, which is usually just movements, anxiety because you've been sitting too much and you need to get your body a little bit of, you know, you need to give your body a little bit of movement. So yeah. That being said, there are many people who feel absolutely all of them, and trust me, if you go from one, you are going to feel others. Just a little example, I recently felt a lot of duality anxiety, and I am fully aware why. Thus, from there, I am taking steps that I can do right now, but I am also putting a lot of pressure on myself, as in, like, okay, I really need to do this, I really need to get this done, I really need to do it this way, right? And that pressure is then moving up into my throat. Not necessarily my head, because I have been able to really calm my thoughts down and yeah, control them. But there's a lot of pressure in my throat, so it moves. Yeah, things move, and you need to know what your origin is to be able to take your next step. So I hope that helped. Write any comments. If you want some help, feel free to reach out. We are available on synchrologic.com, and I really recommend you to just kind of meditate on it, sit with yourself, feel where it's coming from, and slowly but surely, anxiety will take you to your best life, and it will take you to better solutions for you. So I wish you all the best.